happy start of NFL free agency to all of you who celebrate. We got a couple of breaking news items to get to on today's show. The Packers made two pretty big signings. We're going to talk about those. They're also going to wave goodbye to two pretty big players. We're going to talk about those as well. But before we get into anything, I got to give a shout out to you guys because you guys made an amazing effort yesterday in our NFC North sub battle. Unfortunately, our Bears Now channel made a pretty good one as well. It is so close from top to bottom. We currently are still sitting at second place, only 7 subs behind our Bears Now channel. To take the lead in the NFC North for this week of free agency, I need you guys to do one favor for me. One thing, it's free. Hit that sub button. Alrighty, let's start with Aaron Banks, a new guard on the offensive line for the Green Bay Packers, signing him to a 4-year, $77 million deal. Now, my first reaction to this, I kind of felt like it was a little bit of an overpay. $19 million a year for Aaron Banks seems like a lot of money, okay? But I'm never going to complain with fortifying your offensive line, especially in a spot that needed fortifying, okay? We all know how this offensive line looked last year, okay? Nobody was worried about the outside. Everybody was worried about the interior, and now your interior just got a whole lot better, okay? Only let up 1 sack, 25 pressures, has 65.4 PFF grade overall. And I think this move is going to create some ripple effects because now that you add Aaron Banks into that guard position, he's only played guard for his entire life. I think that slides Elgton Jenkins to center. Now, why does Jenkins need to move to center? Well, we're going to talk about that and deeper conversations on the back half of today's show, but Josh Myers is expected to not be a part of the Green Bay Packers, not get re-signed, all right? So that leaves the center position open, and I think Jenkins slides over from guard to center, and Banks comes in and plays in that guard position, okay? I think he's got a lot of potential. Okay, I think he's still young, he's still raw, he's got a lot of really great traits to him, and Green Bay, over the past few years, they've showed a priority of not just, going out and getting offensive linemen, but they've done a really, really good job at developing those offensive linemen. And I think Banks can be a very similar story. Just don't know if I love the price tag of $19 million a year. Red pin time. Great Aaron Banks signing. Let me know in the comment section down below. Give me an A, B, C, D, or F. I'm probably going to give it somewhere around a B. I think it's fine. Again, I've told you already enough. I don't love the money. But when you look at the free agent class, what was available at guard, and then when you look at really what was available at guard in the upcoming NFL draft, this, in my opinion, was the best choice. So give me your grade. They not only got better on the offensive side of the ball, but they did on the defensive side of the ball as well, as Nate Hobbs is coming from Sin City all the way up to Green Bay on a 4-year, $48 million deal. $16 million of that is guaranteed. I don't know if you guys have heard what he said on social media. Josina Anderson is the one that tweeted out. Basically, I'm going to paraphrase it. He's pumped up. He's really, really excited to be in Green Bay. Now, I don't want to get your hopes up, okay? I know what you're thinking. Sweet. We got our Jair Alexander replacement. We can trade him. We can release him. We can save a bunch of money. Nate Hobbs isn't that. Okay, he excels better at the inside cornerback position, in the slot. Okay, so he's kind of the opposite of Jair Alexander. This team still needs an outside cornerback. But the great thing about Nate is he really is a Swiss Army knife. You can kind of put him all over the field. And he's had a really great last 4-year stretch in the National Football League. Let's look a little bit deeper into 2024 into the coverage stats, shall we? He got targeted 43 times, led up 24 completions, 261 total yards, only 1 touchdown given up, 5 pass breakups, 1 interception, a QB rating of 71.9, right? So he had a really, really good, a pretty good, I don't want to say really, really good. He had a pretty good 2024 season. And I think that he can be really special in this defense. However, with Keyshawn Nixon there, with him there, and Jair Alexander most likely being gone, I still think that outside cornerback is a need. Now, do they address that in the draft in the first or second round? I think probably, because you've gotten your offensive line kind of figured out to where you want it to be. I think now this draft order turns either edge, corner, wide receiver, or corner, edge, wide receiver. It's just all going to depend on who's available when you're picking. Are you impressed or are you disappointed? Let me know in the comment section down below. What is your one-word reaction to the signing of Nate Hobbs? Let me know yours, okay? My one-word reaction is solid. I want to hear what yours is. Let me know in the comment section. All right, before we go, I got a couple more news items to get to because, like I said, Green Bay brought in a few folks, but they also told a couple of guys, you know what? We don't really need you back. Go ahead. Feel fine hitting the exit door. The first one I mentioned, kind of at the top of the show, when talking about Aaron Banks, the Packers Wire is the one who updated us today, tweeting that the Packers are expected to lose center Josh Myers in free agency. I made a video about this, not this specifically, but I talked about this, I think, last week. And with the center market being what it is, and Josh Myers being a guy who has 50 starts over the last, 3-4 years or so, I knew that he was going to be heavily coveted, right? We talked about it last week. If you look at the centers available in free agency, Josh Myers, as much as it might surprise you, ranks somewhere in the 3 to 4 range. So I believe that although Brian Gutekunst has had a lot of great things to say about Myers, and although this team loves him, I think that Green Bay was saying, you know what, we're not going to be able to offer you when everybody else is. Here's our offer. If you don't want it, go get some more money. We're just not going to be the ones to pay it to you. Another one who just got paid, another Green Bay Packer, is TJ Slayton signing a 2-year, $15.1 million deal. And I'm not going to just sit here and say, you know what, you're going to miss Slayton because of all the production he gave this team. No. I'm not going to say that. 30 tackles this past year, 1 sack, 2 tackles for loss. It was a fine year for Slayton. But what I think you need to look at is 34 starts over the last 2 seasons. That's what you're letting walk out the door, okay? It's not the 30 tackles. It's the 34 starts in 2 years, okay? He's a big, big, big leader of this defense. He is a just solid cornerstone of this defensive line. And I think his absence, you're going to see the impact of that. Now, I think this team will be able to get over it. They will be able to get past it. Again, only you're losing 30 tackles and a sack. I'm not going to act like you're losing Aaron Donald here. However, this is a guy who's given you a lot of consistency in that position. Let's talk about what this team has done in free agency before I get out of here. This is it. 4 moves. You got the Isaiah McDuffie extension, 2 years, $8 million. I love that price tag. Okay, I absolutely love it. Brandon McManus, 3-year, $15.3 million. Say what you want about McManus and what he did in the playoff game against the Eagles. I don't want to hear it. Since coming to this team, he went 21 for 23 on field goals, and he went 31 for 31 on extra points. Okay, that's good enough for me. That's good enough to pay $5.1 million a year. And then the last 2, Aaron Banks, Nate Hobbs, 4 years, $77 million, 4 years, $48 million. I do want to point out some interesting things, okay, because Josh Sweat got signed today. DJ Reed got signed today. Those are 2 guys that, I've talked about a lot on this channel. And I really, really wanted to see in green and gold at some point over the next week or so. It's not going to happen. They both took deals elsewhere. But if you look at what this team paid for Aaron Banks, it's like the exact same amount, almost to the dollar, that Josh Sweat got from, who was it, Justin, Tampa Bay? That Josh Sweat got from Tampa Bay. And so it's interesting that Brian Gutekunst, say it again? Arizona. Thank you. Thank you, Justin. It's interesting that Brian Gutekunst looked at Josh Sweat and Aaron Banks and said, you know what, I'd rather pay 4 years, $77 for an offensive lineman than 4 years, $77 for an edge rusher. I would argue that Josh Sweat is probably the one I would have chosen, but hey, I'm not running the franchise. I'm just talking on YouTube. And by the way, thank you guys so much for listening. I really do appreciate every single one of you guys. It's going to be a crazy week. I'm going to have a lot more videos that come out over the next couple of days. Make sure you guys stick by the channel. Hit that sub button so you never miss a moment, never miss a beat. And as always, make sure you guys like the video, comment, share with your friends, do whatever. For Justin, myself, have a great day.